I genuinely don't know where to begin with this episode. Unlike the last few episodes, at least, or some of the episodes in this series, I actually have something to say about this episode. This episode, at the very least, it's got some meat to it, you can react to it, but it's the craziest Doctor Who episode and the weirdest Doctor Who episode I've seen in a very long time. It's like an acid trip. The first 10 minutes are atmospheric, and it's very well done. I mean, the cinematography is very good, the performances are very good, it's very good stuff. The first sort of 10-15 minutes with just the cottage, and before things sort of go a bit crazy and a bit unnecessarily complex, it's very good and very tightly plotted. Graham is very well written in this episode. He is a very interesting character. He's a great character. Bradley Walsh continues to impress, and he, for me, was the highlight of the episode. But I think as soon as the characters enter the weird parallel Solitract universe thing, the episode kind of gets very strange very, very quickly. I don't know if Ed Heim was on acid when he wrote this, but it seems like he was. This episode is just bonkers, and I genuinely don't know what to say about it. I mean, at least I'm thinking about this episode, unlike some episodes of this series which have been bland and unimaginative. This episode, at the very least, has some thought put into it, but it's just mental, really. You know, the performances are good, it looks great, there are some kind of scary moments, but I think once it adds in the unnecessarily complex elements, it kind of loses focus and becomes somewhat confusing and a bit dull and a bit I was kind of waiting for the episode to end almost. It's unfortunate. Not to say this episode is bad or anything, it's deeply, deeply interesting, but saying an episode is interesting doesn't mean it's good. Hell Bent, for example, is horrific, but it is interesting at the very least, like watching a car crash in slow motion. This isn't as bad as Hell Bent. In fact, I don't really know if it's bad or good. I don't really know where I stand on this episode, if I'm honest. When I first saw Hell Bent, I also didn't know where I stood on it, and then later on repeat viewings, I thought it was crap. So possibly my opinion will shift when I rewatch this, but right now, this episode seems like an absolute acid trip. For me, this episode has too many ideas in a relatively short time frame of about 50 minutes. It loses focus as soon as you go into the Solitract universe. The talking frog really was just ridiculous, and I couldn't take that seriously. It's just really stupid and really just horrific. The music was good. This is just really weird. And I mean, I'm sorry if this reaction video is coming across as a bit, unscripted. I mean, it is unscripted, but a bit, rambly. But it's because I just don't know what to say about this episode. I'm trying to think of something coherent to say, but this episode just doesn't have anything, I liked these sort of anti-zone scenes. Any scene in the anti-zone I thought was brilliant. I thought it was really creepy. The lighting was brilliant. The lighting throughout was top-notch, but the anti-zone was very, very good, and I really liked it. Yeah, this episode is just crazy. I kind of want Ed Heim to write Doctor Who again, but maybe they should give him a more specific, tightly plotted idea so he doesn't go off on one like he did here. This almost reminds me of a Stephen Moffat episode where he would go off on one and he would make it very complex, but this is the most complex Doctor Who episode I think I've ever seen. It's so... I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, I did enjoy the episode, but I really don't know where I stand on it beyond saying that I liked it. Next week is the finale, written by Chris Chibnall. It looks kind of interesting. It's on an alien planet, so we'll see how that goes. If you liked this video and you are interested in what else I do, why not check out my other videos that I've made so far? And if you're really interested, why not click subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video.